First day of combine with the running and the meetings and all that stuff. So I got some updates and some news. What is up, Finn fans? Yes, the combine started essentially, I think it was on the first or the second. But today they started running their 40s. I think today was tight ends, wide receivers, and quarterbacks ran their 40-yard dashes. I'm going to talk about the top performers there. And the Dolphins met with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 players. And I'm going to talk about those players that they met with because it really shows where the Dolphins' thought process is going. But before we jump into all that good stuff, I do have to shout out 2 new members, and Ginger Man, Maine, and Timothy Hopkins. Thank you guys so much for joining the membership again. I think tonight I'm going to be recording a special video for the members and the Patreons. So if you are a member or a patron, members, you go click on the member tab, and you see all the videos that are specially made for you guys. And then Patreon, just sign in and go to the posts and you'll see the video there. So that should be out either tonight or tomorrow. But yeah, let's jump into I'm going to talk about the top 40s and, be quick. But let's talk about quarterbacks, top 40s. The fastest was Desmond Ridder from Cincinnati, quarterback, ran a 4.49. And then after that, kind of dropped. We don't really have that many speedy quarterbacks, even though, only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, only 8 ran. Desmond Ridder was 4.49. E.J. Perry from Brown, 4.60. Kenny Pickett, who I'm hearing has a very small hand. I don't know if that's really going to, go one way or the other. Ran a 4.67. Dustin Crum from Kent State, 4.75. Again, this quarterback class isn't as great as past quarterback classes have been, or even next year's. When it comes to the wide receivers, though, Tyquan Thornton ran a 4.21. And then Chris, he's from Baylor, Chris Olave, I think that's how you say his name, the wide receiver at Ohio State, who's he's going mid to early first, ran a 4.26, and I'm hearing he is extremely good at his route running at Ohio State. Again, I haven't really delved too deep into my draft stuff yet, being that free agency starts in less than 2 weeks, but looking at some of these 40 times, these wide receivers, Christian Watson from North Dakota State, all 4.28. 3 wide receivers ran a 4.2. Then you have Velus Jones from Tennessee, ran a 4.31. Calvin Austin III from Memphis ran a 4.32. Alec Pierce from Cincinnati ran a 4.33. Danny Gray from SMU ran a 4.33. Bo Melton, 4.34. Garrett Wilson, another top-notch guy out of Ohio State, 4.37. I'm just trying to talk about some of the top names that people have been talking about. Dotson from Penn State ran a 4.43, and where's the other one? There's another wide receiver. Treylon Burks ran a 4.55. You kind of wanted to see Burks a little bit higher. He's another wide receiver that's top ranked. And then we'll talk about tight ends real quick. And the tight ends, the fastest was Chig. Wow, I'm gonna mess this name up out of Maryland. Okonkwo. It's that time of the year where I'm gonna mess up draft prospects' names. He ran a 4.52. That's pretty fast for a tight end. Jalen Woods out of Virginia, 4.61. Grant Calcaterra, 4.62. Daniel Bellinger, 4.63. Greg Dulcich. Dulcich? I'm going to mess these names up. At a UCLA, 4.7. And Connor Hayward ran a 4.72 out of Michigan. So the speed of the NFL is getting really, really, really fast, especially with these 40s, especially with the 40s with the wide receivers. Like I said, 3 wide receivers ran 4.2s. Christian Watson, 4.28. He was the slowest. But Chris Olave, I know you guys are going to be like, it's pronounced this way, so I'll learn from you guys. 4.26. 4.26, and I think he is the top ranked or the second ranked wide receiver in this draft class. I'm hearing that the draft class is deep for wide receivers, running backs, and I don't know the third one, but I'm hearing that the wide receiver class is very deep, and there's a lot of talent. So my top 5 for the wide receiver class is going to be hard to talk about. But that is the 40 that happened today. Some other little tidbits I'll talk about that I missed maybe yesterday. Chris Greer said they're going to be super aggressive when it comes to free agency, which I'm very happy about that. I already talked about them trying to get something done with Xavier Howard, trying to get something done with Emmanuel Agba. I'm interested to see what he means by he's going to be aggressive in free agency, because last year, obviously, they weren't aggressive at all. Let a lot of pieces that could have helped the team just fall to the wayside. Philip Lindsay being the center that they could have brought in. So when more news and more stuff like that comes out, I will talk to you about that. But let's talk about the 10 players that the Dolphins have met with. And some of these names are big names, right? Some of these names are top prospect names. So I'm just going to run down the list, and we're going to start with, they met with Darian Kinnard. I think that's how you say his name. I'm going to give you the PFF top 100 rankings. Super early. Once they start doing, the bench, the vertical, the broad jump, they have their pro days and stuff, they'll move up and down people's big boards. But as of right now, I'll give you PFF's top 100 big board. He's ranked 60th. He's an offensive tackle out of Kentucky, could play guard, has very good run blocker, 89 plus grade as a run blocker. Met with him. They met with Zion Johnson. And you should know who Zion Johnson is, because Applebaum, our new offensive line coach, coached him up. He's a guard out of Boston College. He's the 41st ranked. They are top 100. He allowed only 6 pressures. So you can already see where the Dolphins' thought process is. They're also going to be aggressive in free agency. They're probably going to go out there and try to get a top offensive lineman. Speaking of top offensive linemen, they met with Tyler Lindenbaum, the center out of Iowa, who was the 12th ranked in this class. Now, I don't think the Dolphins will be able to get him, being that they're picking at 29, but they did meet with him. Again, it gives you an idea of what they're thinking of and what their direction is. Best center in the class. Hands down, 95.5 PFF grade last year. Best center in the class. They also met with Daniel Falele. Again, you guys can correct me. Tackle out of Minnesota, 83rd ranked. He's huge. 6'9", 380 pounds. He's a physical monster. He's probably not going to be a first-round pick, so the Dolphins could potentially get him second or third round, but big man. And they met with some of these, specialists, some of these hot, spicy names. They met with Breece Hall, who is, I think, their second-ranked running back on PFF. He's 66th overall, halfback out of Iowa State. He has 10-plus broken tackles in 3 consecutive games. They project him as about a third-round pick. Very good running back there. Then they met also with Isaiah Spiller, who halfback out of Texas A&M. He is the 102nd ranked. He's a 4-star recruit. He has the NFL skill sets. He's probably another mid-round draft pick, fourth rounder there. They also met, and now here's your wide receivers, Treylon Burks, wide receiver out of Arkansas, 29th ranked. Again, I just talked about him. His 4.55 was a little underwhelming, but he's 6'3", 225 pounds. Physical, big wide receiver. Really love that they met with him. They met with Jameson Williams. And if you know about Jameson Williams, he talked about the fact that him and Waddle on the same team would be unfair, and that is because he is a wide receiver out of Alabama, played with Waddle. He is the 17th ranked on PFF's top 100. He is recovering from an ACL injury, though, but he is a deep threat. He is a very big deep threat, and be awesome to get those two back together. Met with Devontae Price, halfback out of Florida International. He's down there, 165 out of whatever their ranking is. And they met with Connor Hayward, tight end out of Michigan. Again, another low ranked, 261st ranked, but he ran a 4.7 240. So those are the guys that the Dolphins have met with. A lot of the names that pop out to me: Jameson Williams, Treylon Burks, Tyler Lindenbaum, Zion Johnson. These are the names that pop out. Daniel Falele. Again, let me know if I'm saying that name wrong. I probably am. these are names that I'm like, okay, I see the direction that the Dolphins are going in, because you got some of the top offensive linemen that they've met with, some of the top wide receivers they met with, and some of the top running backs they met with. They're really going to be focusing on the offense, because there's not much that they need to address and not much that they need to do when it comes to the defensive side. You need to fix the linebacking core. It's a lot of them are going, a lot of them are potential free agents, and they didn't play great last year. You need to address Emmanuel Ogbah. You bring Emmanuel Ogbah back. It's not, the defensive line doesn't need to be addressed that much. You're probably going to lose out on a few defensive tackles, and they're just going to keep the same scheme, so they'll still understand it. And the secondary is still pretty good. You bring Nick Needham back. You add maybe one or two more corners, add some depth at the safety. It's fine. It's the offense that was the problem, and I think that's what they're seeing. Offensive line, the weapons, and the run game was the problem. Some people might say the quarterback. I don't necessarily think the quarterback was the problem, but you can see it by meeting with offensive tackle, guard, center, tackle, halfback, 3 halfbacks, 2 wide receivers, and a tight end, where they're going, focusing really on the offensive side. But again, today it seemed like mostly offense, so we'll start to see when the defense trickles in who they meet with then. But I'll let you know who they meet with. I'll give you updates on the 40s, and I'll give you updates on what's happening at the combine, all the way up until the 7th when the combine's over, and then we're going to start talking about free agency. But other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, I'm going to keep giving you updates coming from the combine, who the Dolphins meet, who they're talking with, any rumors, all that good stuff. But other than that, guys, I'll see you in the next video. But like usual, stay classy. Fins up.